Redress and mediation, will it happen? Come on, let's hit to the chase.
No, this is your speciality, not mine.
Okay, so, yes, landlord redress is going to come in. It will be within, I think...
2 years.
2 years it will be in. It's natural. If you are a landlord, a tenant using a letting agent, you get redress if there's an issue.
Yeah.
If you are a tenant renting directly from a landlord, you have nothing. It's not fair. It doesn't work. This will come in. And I think we should be preparing for that. It will be linked to a register of sort, whether that be a property register or whether that be a landlord,
it'll be a property register.
Property. But they'll capture the landlord information within it.
So my question to you, Ed, is how will it be enforced?
The question.
Look, the statistics are, we're doing a trial at the moment with the National Residential Landlords Association, and it's been going for about 6 months now, just to get a feel for what the remit of a redress scheme could look like. And if you take out the vexatious complaints, actually most landlords do a very, very good job. Yeah, it's the minority.
But isn't that the argument? It's being done with the NRLA, who are great landlords, and they know training, they're up to speed. We're talking about 2.3 million landlords out there. It's the ones, the twos, the threes, or whatever that still don't put deposits in a deposit scheme, which you've been running since 2007. Are they going to be the issue?
Well, I think the biggest challenge, I think you mentioned the word enforcement, is that with the current redress scheme we have for letting agents, if obviously we get to a stage where we cannot resolve or the letting agent refuses to resolve, off it goes to trading standards. Now, when you've got 25,000 letting agents in the UK...
it's a bit easier than 2.4 million or whatever.
2.4 million, and I think that will be the challenge, and it's more of an operational challenge. What I think will happen is I think this whole idea of a single ombudsman will probably be dropped, and it will probably be an overarching regulatory body somewhere, but then there'll be loads of different, not loads, but there'll be more than one specialist organisation to deal with it. I don't think the government can expect one single organisation to gear themselves up.
It's too big a gig. It's too big a gig.
But I think if they use some of the people, some of the organisations like the Property Redress Scheme or the TPO, then I think they've got a chance of getting it in. And once the other thing, very quickly to say is, what is the remit? What is the remit for complaint? You know, I mean, at the moment you get quite a lot of complaints come through about deposits, holding deposits, full deposits. Well, that's what the TDP schemes are there to do.
Correct. So they should be
experts in that. You with me?
So but most of the complaints, Ed, will be about repairs and disrepairs.
I would have thought, yes, or nuisance and that sort of thing, or antisocial behaviour is a really. And when you talk to landlords around the country, what do they worry about with their tenants? It's ultimately antisocial behaviour, it's damages, it's repairs. You with me? And it's how the landlord deals with that, and that's what this redress scheme will be there to do, is to say, is the landlord being fair and reasonable? But
could also, I'm playing devil's advocate here. You know what I mean? I don't like to be controversial, right? Could it be up for abuse where tenants could be saying there's a dispute so they get out of not paying the rent?
Well, I'd like to think that human nature is a little bit more, but the cynic you could do. But this is why I think it's not going to happen tomorrow. I think this is why these sort of pilots are very good, to find out what are the potential abuses, and really the proof of the pudding's not until you launch a scheme.
Yeah, you see the trends.
You know, we ran the property redress scheme since 2015. Yeah, it takes you a couple of years to really get to grips and get the processes in place and to make sure you've got the right expertise to manage that. Your challenge is a fair one to 2 million landlords out there, 2 million plus landlords, and then the big corporates that do not like being told what to do.
A lot of it's down to education, though.
It's going to be a tough gig.
All I will say on this matter is that if you take the rent repayment order, which everyone forgets about, but a lot of landlords are quite afraid of, it is designed as a self-policing system to stop landlords not licensing their properties, and it catches both the innocent and the guilty, or the mistaken and the guilty, so to speak. And the tenants love it because they for 300 quid they get a chance of a 10 grand payback, and they'll go for it. So I suspect that the redress, I think you're right, the redress amongst tenants will probably lead to some erroneous attempts at getting money back off their landlord via a redress scheme. But overall, it will start to become self-policing, because I think a lot of landlords will go, I'm now being watched a bit more than I used to.
I have to raise my game.
I have to raise my game.
Basically what it's all about.
And you might not hear that as a landlord, but that's sort of where it's going.